The Vampire's Dream. Oh, shit. The Vampire's Dream. The Vampire's Dream. The Vampire's Dream. Smash the like button. This is DJ E. The Black Channel. Why won't the... Happy Friday on the Vampire's Dream. I don't know how long this is going to be. We got to talk on the Vampire's Dream. What's going on, Ego and the Vampires? Y'all funny. Yeah. Let me get my water for the Vampire's Dream. This is the best stuff for you. H2O. The Vampire's Dream. Let's get it. Shit ain't nothing. So Usyk versus Takam, Carlos Takam, Usyk. Usyk's moving up. It was announced yesterday. Right. Someone said I'm drinking tap water. Nah, this is from Lake Minnetonka. I got that water purified in Lake Minnetonka. Look how big this bottle is. 2.5 liters. Shoot program. Yeah, I'm putting H2O bottles on all you. So listen. Usyk's moving up to heavyweight. He was undisputed. Then he beat the former champion emeritus or whatever, in Tony Bellew. Knocked him out. The fight was good, knocked him out. Got credit for that. Now he's moving up. First fight, they said he could fight Povetkin, Luis Ortiz, or Carlos Takam. I think even Joseph Parker was a name that I heard. But he didn't fight those guys. He's fighting Takam. He's moving up. So his introductory fight, you don't want to put him in, too hard. Again, the only problem I have with that is people need to fight my guy, Luis King Kong. It's like, why do people mention Luis Ortiz if they're not going to fight him? I just don't get it. Like, do you notice people keep talking about Luis Ortiz's age, but nobody's talking about his skill? Like, boxing is not a sport about age. Obviously, it's a young man's sport by and large, but guys like Floyd Mayweather, guys like Bernard Hopkins, guys like Sergio Martinez, guys like Juan Manuel Marquez, Do you guys know that Marquez, when he knocked out Pacquiao, was 40 years old? And he knocked Pacquiao, a Hall of Famer, out smooth. Pacquiao was like, doo-doo-doo. Oh, actually, Pacquiao fell this way, so he fit. Do. That's how Pacquiao fell. Pacquiao fell face down. It's like face down, that's the way. That's the way. You know, Marquez was 40 years old in that fight. So, like Aaliyah said, age ain't nothing but a number. Until otherwise proven, unless you do what Wilder did with Luis Ortiz, I ain't trying to hear it. Sean Bailey says, I don't even like talking about Gennady Golovkin anymore. It's a shame. Listen, we're going to get to Golovkin in a second. We're going to talk more about this DAZN thing. I promise you, new media, join the wave. You know, we the new wave, we the new drip. You guys see where the... Bro, I know people don't want to give credit or whatever, but the narratives start right here. Like, I know what we doing. That's why what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing. I'm destroying, right? And this is the thing. I'm seeing websites write articles after I do these videos. I know they're watching. Because guess what? After I bring up these points, now different websites that aren't affiliated with me, that I don't know, I see them writing the same, some of the same talking points, some of the same, because once it's presented to you, it's hard to denounce. It's hard to deny it. I won't deny it. I'm a fucking rider. You don't want to mess with me. Rest in peace, Nate Dogg. It's hard. It's hard. And I'm telling you, we making it hard. I told you guys, you should have just left me alone. Now you're going to see a whole nother gear. You're going to go see separation. Now you're going to see new media level up. I promise you. I told y'all, the best thing y'all could have just let me do my impersonations. Let me do my jokes. Leave me the fuck alone. But then now old media and these fans, these casuals, they kept coming for me. Now we're going to see. We're going to see who's talking that talk, who's talking about stuff that actually manifests and comes true. We're going to see who gets it right. We're going to see whose channel succeeds. Now this is a game for me. Now this is a competition. And guess what? This is what I do full time. These other dudes, a lot of dudes, majority of these dudes aren't doing this full time. There's only a small percentage of us that can survive full time off of YouTube, and or off of boxing in general. There's people that write for big websites and stuff that boxing is secondary. They work in a cubicle or work as a painter or something like that. There's not too many of us. So it's going to be increasingly harder because I started like that too. I had a regular job, right? But I'm a true hustler. I'm a Bay Area hustler. So we get about that and be my own boss. The Nipsey Hussle way, the marathon continues. So let's see them keep up, because I know while they sleeping, while they got to punch in, while they working for their job, let's see you outwork me. I'm ready for it. That's what I had to do, rain, sleet, hail, or snow. I had to outwork people. I had to be different. So let's see them do it. Let's see old media do it. So as far as Luis Ortiz, I don't really want to see or hear about anybody. I don't even want people shouldn't even mention his name unless you got a contract for them, man. What's the point of even mentioning his name? Eddie Hearn doing it again. He said Dillian White could fight blah, 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 Luis Ortiz, blah, 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 because Dillian White needs the next new fight, right? He put Luis Ortiz on the list again. I mean, let's see it. I tell you the same thing over and over and over and over again. This is not a good look. This is the social media. Eddie Hearn's a smart guy. He's a businessman. He knows the power of social media. So I don't see why promoters and people, who are obviously involved in, know social media. Eddie Hearn knows social media. He be posting and stuff. So it's just like, why you keep mentioning Luis Ortiz if you're really not trying to make the fight? And bottom line is, we know when promoters are really trying to make certain fights, because usually they're made without any public hiccups or public quarrels or back and forth things. You know what I'm saying? Ortiz should just spend his time at a pond since he's surrounded by so many ducks. Word up, just like get a loaf of bread and just start throwing it out there because he's being ducked. He's avoided, and people see it. People, no, we're not buying it anymore. Just don't mention it. See, this is what I like about Wilder. See, and this is the thing. We changing all the standards, all the how they try to make you feel if you support someone's movement. We changing all that. People try, if you like a black fighter, they try to make it sound like it's something negative, like something that you should be ashamed of yourself for. If you like Wilder, they say you sucking his dick and all this extra shit. As opposed to just liking what the man represents, that he's for the culture, that he's for his family, that he cares about his legacy. Like, that can't be it. It's always like some dick sucking and you did this and, you're just an American, so you feel this. No, there's a lot of Americans that I don't rock with. You know what I'm saying? I don't just fuck with you because you fucking Trump's an American. I don't like him. So, it had nothing. People are stupid. People always try to attribute it to say, oh, you're just saying that because he's black. Oh, you're saying that because he's American. I don't give a fuck if you American or not. This man Trump just called, he said people, here, I'm going to play it for you. It's better coming out of his mouth than mine, so y'all know. Just listen what this dude Trump said.
We have people coming into the country or trying to come in. We're stopping a lot of them. But we're taking people out of the country. You wouldn't believe how bad these people are. These aren't people. These are animals. And we're taking them out of the country at a level and at a rate that's never happened before. And
that sound like, I don't know how well y'all could hear that, but that sound like some racist ass shit, bro. Trump said, we're stopping people from coming into this country, and we're taking out some bad trash and some bad people. You know what? They're not even people. They're animals. And we're taking them out of the country at an unprecedented rate. That's literally what Trump just said. He called the people animals. Okay. Shout out to Prophet. He said it makes no sense to get people hyped about a good fight and then give us the worst option. Kane says the old narrative is no longer acceptable, nor will it be supported. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Those are great comments. That's what I'm saying. What are we talking about? Luis Ortiz. And then now, even though he just said Luis Ortiz is on the short list, I ain't heard nothing from Luis Ortiz's camp, like saying that they might fight Dillian White. They've already had a public battle, Dillian and Luis. And I read something today talking about Manuel Char might get a Dillian White fight. Just stop it. This cloud chasing, it looks bad. Now, aside from disappointing people, like, see, this is one reason I don't make promises. I don't typically make promises, Like, I don't really say, oh, I promise I will do this or this or that. I don't like to, because I hold myself to a standard. I have integrity. And sometimes, depending on what it is, I don't want to pressure myself into, promising someone something. Yeah, like, it could be something small, like a relationship. You can say I have trust issues or whatever, but I'm not going to just like, oh, yeah, let's go on one date and I promise I'll, go steady with you or something. No, I'm not. I got to see how things go. I can't just promise you some shit like that, because what if the date don't go well? You get what I'm saying? So I don't like promises, or I'm cautious of the promises that I make. But the great thing is, if you don't set a tone, you don't set false expectations for people to get disappointed. If they never told me Usyk was fighting potentially Alexander Povetkin or Luis Ortiz, which to me are better fights than Carlos Takam, even though Povetkin just got knocked out and Luis Ortiz got knocked out by Wilder, Takam been knocked out more times than both of them. Klitschko didn't knock out Povetkin. A young, strong, 4-inch taller Joshua knocked out Povetkin, and Povetkin, he did his own thing for the first couple of rounds, had Joshua's nose bleeding and stuff like that. He says Bob Arum did the same nonsense with Pacquiao versus Crawford, knowing he wanted Manny to fight Hearn. You know, it's funny too, because like people criticize Al Heyman and this and that, and try to act like certain people don't keep up with the times. But old media way of thinking, that's not keeping up with the times. If you think you just in this day and age can say whatever, and then people aren't going to hold you to a standard, then it's sadly mistaken. Tapping in from work. Shout out to the Vampire Stream. Ego be working. Hashtag no bullshit. Appreciate y'all. You know, that's what's outdated. You know, thinking you just say whatever, and then people just gonna ride with it. It's just too much. Too many ways to validate and verify and to go back and revisit what was said. It's just too many ways like that. So it becomes self-destructive when you're doing all these interviews, and in a short space of time, you keep saying different things. You know, like, I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not trying to pit, you know, people's sides against each other, but let's ask some real life questions. Y'all ready? All I want y'all to do is be honest. That's all. Just giving you something to think about. If y'all want to play the truth game, I'm going to ask you some serious questions. All you have to do is just be honest with yourself. You know, none of this game and trolling and stuff. I'm really trying to get some clarity here. So if you guys are ready, can I get a hell yeah in the comment section? And we'll play this little game. And you tell me what makes sense to you. See, it's not just about what I say. I always empower the people. I always tell you guys to, you know, you don't have to listen to me, but listen to me. And you don't have to listen to me and take what I say as, I guess that's because that sounds kind of crazy. You don't have to listen to me. Hey, listen to me. What I mean is, you don't have to listen to me and then just take it for like the golden gospel. Take what I say, listen to it, see if it makes sense, and apply it to what you've seen and tell me if it makes sense. And I believe more often than not it will make sense if you're of rational thinking and you know what's going on in boxing and stuff like that. All right, y'all want to play the game, I see. Brown on boxing, that's a great point. He said Dillian Whyte says he wants a title fight, but as WBC silver champion, he must fight an eliminator to become Wilder's mandatory. Dillian doesn't want to fight Luis Ortiz. He wants to be given a title fight. See, that's what I'm saying. The WBC already gave you a way out. Like they said, that's an eliminator we want. Wilder's clearly fighting Dominic Breazeale, so, you know, it sounds like you could be next up for sure, if you fight Luis Ortiz. But, you know, for one reason, it seems difficult to make. So that's a great add-on. But let's play this game real quick. Okay. Rematch Room said a short list for Dillian Whyte in December was Derek Chisora 2, Luis Ortiz, and whoever else, right? I'm like, yeah, Luis Ortiz, that sounds good. Because we thought that the winner could possibly fight AJ, even Dillian Whyte's not getting, even though he was the long-standing front runner, he didn't even get the AJ fight. Didn't fight Luis Ortiz, which would have been the better fight. They said Usyk could fight Povetkin, Luis Ortiz, or Carlos Takam. He didn't fight Povetkin or Luis Ortiz, which in my opinion would have been tougher fights. And that's probably why he's not doing it for his first fight, right? Amir Khan is fighting this month in 14 days or so against Terrence Crawford on ESPN. Amir Khan and Kell Brook have the same promoter now, Eddie Hearns, right? Amir Khan and Kell Brook has been lingering on for as long as Mayweather-Pacquiao at this point, 6-7 years. Still haven't fought. Still haven't given the British public that fight. Everybody thought when Amir Khan signed to Matchroom that this was a for sure thing. You know, you even seen Amir Khan talking to Kell Brook at a fight. You get what I'm saying? You even seen that happen. Rematch Room didn't get it done. People thought Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte could get done. Dillian Whyte complained about the money. They couldn't see eye to eye. You know? So I'm giving you guys this little track record of in-house fights, right? In-house fights with Rematch Room. And then you look at DAZN. Triple G and Andrade. Seems like an easy fight to make. Not getting done. It doesn't look like it's getting done. There's no indicators that even though Andrade's opponent, Mad Selesky, has some kind of hand issue and he's no longer going to be able to fight in June, why doesn't Triple G fight him? So between Rematch Room and DAZN, do you really want me to believe, like, this is my question to you guys now. I gave you a short synopsis. You can't get Amir Khan and Kell Brook done. You couldn't get a DAZN fight, Triple G and Andrade. Eddie Hearn represents Andrade. You couldn't get that done, which would be a meaningful fight. And it would be right behind Canelo Jacobs in terms of the most impactful middleweight fights this year, right? You can't get those fights done. You couldn't give us Luis Ortiz versus Usyk or Dillian White. Dillian White couldn't get an AJ rematch, even though people prefer that to Gerald Miller. So my question is, do you honestly want me to believe that Wilder's team is the majority party that is at fault for not making the Joshua fight when you can't even get in-house fights done? That's my question. Shout out to Ryland. Ego salute on the clock, checking it. Keep it going. We working out here. That's my question. Do you really think that I'm going to believe that Wilder Joshua is a casualty of Shelly Finkel, Al Heyman, and Deontay Wilder not wanting to fight when you can't even get DAZN in-house fights or rematch room fights, in-house fights, or fights with lesser, like Dillian White, Usyk versus Luis Ortiz? That seems easier to make than a mega unification for Undisputed. So if you're not even pulling the trigger or getting that, in addition, Eddie Hearn, when he first came out May of last year talking about this DAZN shit, he came out saying that they wanted to sign Broner, Errol Spence, Charlos, Jarrett Hurd, Deontay Wilder, Gervonta Tank Davis, et cetera, right? All these people. You got none of them. So once again, do you honestly expect me to believe that it is Deontay Wilder and Al Heyman and whatever, Shelly Finkel and JD's and Mark Breland that are the ones that can't get this fight done and aren't willing to get the fight done? But you can't even get in-house fights, other good fights that are smaller fights like Dillian White and Luis Ortiz, and you used to manage Luis Ortiz for a couple of fights. Do you really want me to believe that? Can you guys answer the question now? Like, how can you not get Amir Khan and Kell Brook done after 7 years, but I'm supposed to believe that Internetwork, DAZN / Showtime, Fox, or PBC / DAZN fight is getting done? You get what I'm saying? Eddie Hearn hasn't delivered no fight like that. He hasn't delivered okay, you can't get Demetrius Andrade versus Triple G. Y'all both on DAZN. Triple G's with DAZN and Andrade's with DAZN / Matchroom. They didn't give Andrade Charlo. That would have been a great fight. Jamal Charlo versus Demetrius Andrade. So they have no history of building those types of fights. And you really want me to believe that Wilder is the one? All right, bro. Here's the other thing. Deontay Wilder and Al Heyman. Al Heyman has such a vast stable. He can have guys lose and still be like Broner lost a couple of times. Broner lost to Sean Porter and they put him in a title fight like immediately after with Khabib Arloverdiev. See, that's the beauty of having a big stable. Like, not one fighter, you're not really sweating it. Some people thought Mikey Garcia could beat Errol Spence. They were wrong, but they thought it. You get what I'm saying? So why would Al Heyman even risk that? Why would Al Heyman potentially put Errol Spence in there with Sean Porter? Because he's not worried about it. It doesn't look like he's pressed about it. He has such a big stable, it's the nature of the business. Guys are going to lose. However, when you have a smaller stable and certain guys that are leading the pack as like cash cows or fan favorites, then now, you might be more in a rush to preserve that. That's why you would put Derek Chisora in there with Dillian White. Oh, yes, thank you. He knocked out Carlos Takam. Now we have an excuse to make Dillian White Derek Chisora too. Come on, man. It's very easy to see all of the stuff that I'm saying. If Wilder loses, then he loses. You know, he won't be done. You know, they still have Adam Kanowski. They still have F.A. Ajagba. They could just, if Wilder lost, then he has to climb back up the ladder. And then they have people like that. They have Joe Joyce. PBC has all these guys. Like, they have Luis Ortiz. So it's not the end of the world. You could just, oh, shit, Wilder lost his title, hypothetically. And there's no guarantee that he loses, so I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, even if that was the case, you can just revert your energy and like, all right, we got to start pushing Joe Joyce. He's 30 years old. He's an Olympian. Let's start putting him in bigger fights. Boom. Now you're right back in the, heavyweight picture. And Joe Joyce could fight a big fight with someone. If I'm not mistaken, Tony Yoka is with Richard Schaefer too. So you got him too. His band should be up. So it's not the end of the world, even if Wilder were to lose. Adam Kanowski, you can get the Polish fans behind him. And just boxing fans in general, because he has a good style. Humble, cool. He looked like a cool cat. I was at a press event, a press conference with him. When he was announcing his Gerald Washington fight, he seemed like a cool dude. So F.A. Ajagba, he looking like a beast. So you can just revert your energies to somebody else if somebody's stock dropped crazy. Oh shit, Broner lost. Okay, put some energy into what Danny Garcia is doing, Errol Spence doing. It's not when you that's what happens. You have different people you can lean on, but if you don't have a big stable, then you can't lean on just, what I'm saying? It don't work like that if you don't have no big stable. Because the guys who emerge and are like the front runners, now you got to carefully select who you put them in there with so you don't ruin your investment or potentially, those things would stand out more. A loss and setbacks like that's going to stand out more and hurt you more. So, like I said, if Matchroom and Eddie Hearn can't get in-house fights done or smaller fights done, what makes me believe that? Like, remember when Eddie Hearn, this is what I'm saying, and then they always bash Al Heyman. It was funny. Remember Triple G's team was talking to Chris Eubank? Chris Eubank Jr. was with Eddie Hearn at the time. Fight fell apart. Kell Brook was supposed to fight Diego Chavez. Fight fell apart. Eddie Hearn and Kell Brook they were negotiating with Brandon Rios when he was more, relevant at the time. Fight fell apart. Kell Brook and Devin Alexander. Fight fell apart 3 times. People kept getting injured. So the point being is, if you're not getting shit, if you can't pull the trigger on none of that, none of those fights, and you want me to believe that it's Wilder's fault, okay. When Al Heyman has a proven track record, shit, even Top Rank has a proven track record of making bigger fights. That's just the reality of it. Fights that have been big in America. And yes, I know America's not the only place in the world, but it happens to be, for boxing, probably the biggest, in terms of financial success. Name a fight that did better than Mayweather-Pacquiao in the UK or anywhere. Italy, Romania. So that's why I keep saying the US, because it's a big market, bigger than people think. There's other good markets too. Canada has a boxing scene, UK has a boxing scene, but America has had some of the historic biggest fights and shit. So that's my thing. If you can't get certain fights like that and pull the trigger, then what are we talking about? How come you can't get Dillian White a title shot? How come the AJ, Dillian White, they couldn't see eye to eye and they already fought before? That just doesn't make sense to me. How come Dillian White, Luis Ortiz, this is several fights. Like, name an Al Heyman fighter who had several public opportunities that we knew of, like where the fighter said he wanted the fight and then the fight didn't manifest. Like Errol Spence said, I'll fight Mikey Garcia, and then the fight never would happen. And it was an in-house fight. It was easy to make. And both fighters said they wanted it. And there was public negotiations, shit like that. Come on, bro. Mikey called out Errol last year. He said he wanted to get 2 fights, and then the third fight be Errol Spence. And he fought him bright and early this year. It didn't happen last year, probably because they were working with Jerry's World, and it was at the end of the year, so they pushed it back a little bit. But it was still Mikey's third fight. Prophet says, see, I like these vampire streams, the vampire stream, with the little quaint crowd, where we just talking boxing and analyzing the game. No games, no bullshit. Prophet says, DAZN's still playing with fire. If your cash cow loses to a nobody off a fluke punch, they really screwed, at least with Canelo Jacobs. It's a good fight. Whoever loses will still be relevant. That's an awesome point. Shout out to Prophet. That's an excellent point. Yeah, that's a great point. So what he's saying is, just like boxing has showed historically, shout out to Sean Bailey too for giving him claps, and that's what I like when you guys do, when the people keep coming up with these dope points. So this is absolute fact that Prophet brought up. Here's why. We've seen strange things happen in boxing where you play around with it, and then Orlando Salido out of nowhere upsets Juan Ma Lopez, and Gamboa versus Juan Ma Lopez just becomes an afterthought. Something that could have been, they could have went straight into Tyson Fury. This is ESPN right now. They could have went into Wilder versus Tyson Fury. If Fury got knocked out, if he lost a decision, or if he won. Obviously, if he wins, that goes without saying, he'll be the WBC champion. But even if he got knocked out, even if he lost, at least you lost to somebody relevant. You're going in with Tom Schwarz that nobody knows. And what if he just comes out of nowhere and clocks you one, and because you just picked a random person you thought was a scrub, and he comes with some wild card style, and, maybe the Wilder's power from the 12th round, and this is your comeback fight, maybe you're still not fresh as you think because you took a lot of damage with those 2 knockdowns. Playing with fire. Same thing with like Eddie Hearn, Kell Brook versus Terrence Crawford. Kell Brook versus Amir Khan. You putting Khan in there with Terrence Crawford, a lot of people think Khan might get ate up. You get what I'm saying? So if Terrence Crawford does him bad, this is hypothetical. I think it's an interesting enough fight. But who's going to want to see Kell Brook? What happened to the Kell Brook Amir Khan fight if Terrence Crawford brutally does something to Amir Khan? Because Terrence Crawford is a dog, and he's an awesome finisher, and he's like the type of fighter where you see him fight guys, they don't look the same. I could give you a couple guys. Felix Diaz is an Olympic gold medalist. He lost since the Terrence Crawford loss. He fought like a nobody and lost. Guys like Victor Postal. This man came off a Lucas Matisse knockout win, lost to Crawford, and took a long time off, came back and didn't look that good versus like Taylor or somebody. So Terrence Crawford has that ability. So putting Khan in there, if Khan doesn't win and if he loses bad, then goodbye to the Kell Brook fight, because even if you make it after that point, it's not going to be what it once was. People already feel like with the Canelo knockout and Triple G knocking out Kell Brook and Spence knocking out Kell Brook, that already hurt the fight. What if AJ loses to Gerald Miller? We're talking about a guy who weighs 321 pounds. It's not out of the realm of possibility in the heavyweight division. Especially with Joshua keep losing weight. Joshua has showed stamina issues in the past where like 5 rounds in, he not looking like the same guy. He looked like he's has to get that second win. So the point being that Prophet's making is absolutely accurate. This is why I love my channel members, because I feel like they're taking the plunge to help the channel, but you could see their level of dedication because the channel members, the guys in green with the army green, look at the comments that they leave. It's usually not no bullshit. You know, they really have insightful things. Whether me and them agree or disagree, it's usually some good back and forth, you know, things that make you go, not no bullshit. But that's an excellent point from the channel member Prophet. You play with fire. And nothing in boxing is promised. We've seen this story so many times. You know, promoters getting greedy and, you know, fights marinating. I mean, even if you really think about it, Mayweather versus Pacquiao, you know, because in between that, Pacquiao got knocked the fuck out again by Marquez. So that's really an example of it too. Because, you know, if he didn't get knocked out, see, actually, that's a great example because, in my opinion, after he got knocked out, that made Pacquiao more cautious. You know, he'd still be doing the reckless shit, but before that, Pacquiao didn't really care because nobody was fucking with him, like, to the point that he had got knocked out since earlier in his career. So when he got knocked out again, you watched the Brandon Rios fight, his next fight, he started boxing more. You know, he wasn't as cautious. He wasn't going in for the kill as much. So that could have influenced how he fought Mayweather. You know, when the going got tough, if he didn't have that recent memory of the Marquez knockout lingering in the back of his head, maybe he would have tried to press Mayweather, and, you know, Mayweather could have either scored a knockout with Pacquiao's, you know, being more aggressive, or maybe Pacquiao would have been able to do more and make it a more entertaining fight, being more aggressive, you know. But he got knocked out, and I think that stuck with him. So he's like, you know, he keeps saying it. I was at the Broner Pacquiao fight. He said it. He said, like, oh yeah, my team, they tell me, you know, take your time and you're 40 now. You know, he told you this shit. So yeah, these promoters, the people in the suits, and the people being greedy. And I think the same thing for DAZN. See, the difference too with DAZN, they're in a different position because they're new. You're still, like, DAZN, let's say this was a relationship with boxing fans. DAZN, you still in the honeymoon stages. You still at the part where you don't have the girl, like, wrapped around your finger. You still have to impress that girl. You feel what I'm saying? Like, when you first start dating a chick, when you first start dating her, you have to court her. You have to show chivalry, you know, open doors and, you know, pull out chairs. You have to make her feel special. You're probably paying for some of the drinks or all the drinks or the movie. You know, you have to court her, you know, show her. But sometimes when people get in relationships after they've been with the person for a while, maybe some of those things, you know, maybe she pays, or maybe, you know, you're a little bit more lax with certain things because you know that girl's with you, and, you know, things like that. DAZN breaking into America, they still in the honeymoon stage. They gotta still, they gotta still impress us. They still gotta, you know, show that pay-per-view's dead. They still gotta put on the compelling matchups that make people want to sign up. That's where they're at as a new business, as they should, as in any new business. But the problem is some of the decisions and some of the things that they're doing don't really cater to the American fan. Period. It just doesn't. See, he said, damn, Andre can't catch a break. Yeah, man, it just don't make sense. Like, you're sitting on a gold mine with Demetrius Andrade and Golovkin. Win, lose, or draw, the winner of that fight. No, not draw, but like the winner of that fight would get win, lose, or draw. The winner, or excuse me, win, lose, or draw. Both fighters would be respected, I would say. You get what I'm saying? Like, nobody's gonna say, "Oh shit, Andre lost to a scrub. Oh shit, Triple G lost to a scrub." That's a good fight. It's a title fight. So I don't feel like the loser, quote unquote, it just would be a good fight. It would be a good fight. And I feel like what Prophet was saying basically. If you make the right fight like that when you can and the timing is right and it makes sense. See, here's the thing. Andrade has been mismanaged. A lot of people believe. A lot of people feel that he's been mismanaged at parts of his career. DAZN, DAZN vowed to keep him active. They're keeping him active, but they're not putting him in more compelling fights than really what he was when he was with Star or Banner Boxing or whoever he was with. You feel what I'm saying? Name a fight that Andrade has fought with DAZN that is better than when he fought Willie Nelson. That is better than when he fought Vanes Matarosen. He ain't fought nobody better than those guys since he's been with them. You know, name something that DAZN has given him that's way better than Jack Kukule, you know, and Brian Rose. This the real deal. This the real deal. This the real deal. Shout out to Ricky Samuel. Respect, ego. You stay grinding while they sleep. I told you, it's, man, I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show y'all separation. I'm going to make them remember my name. New media. But you guys get what I'm saying. DAZN, they made it like, oh, yeah, we got Andrade. We going to keep him. We going to show y'all what y'all been missing. We going to keep him active. We going to keep him fresh, blah, blah, blah. He's a champion. He's a champion, man. He's a champion, and you haven't put him in any fights. You tried, at least. Yeah, I'll give him credit. They tried with the Saunders fight, but it didn't happen anyway. So, you know, that's cool. He's fighting. He's fighting frequently, but he's not fighting this stop. He's not. Okay, put it this way. Well, I'm not playing games no more, bro. Like, I got to just say it in the most blunt way to help you guys understand. So I'm going to give you guys some analogies. In your opinion, who becomes a bigger star? Errol Spence fighting Mikey Garcia at the AT&T Stadium, right? Jerry's World, where the Dallas Cowboys play, selling almost 50,000 with Mikey Garcia, and then dominating Mikey Garcia. Yes, it's a guy who came up 2 weight classes, but what puts someone in the conversation of becoming an American star bigger? Errol Spence fighting a guy coming 2 weight classes at the Dallas Cowboy Stadium, state of the art, huge venue. I was there, right, on Fox pay-per-view, getting promoted by Fox, even in between football games and stuff like that, and on the network and on previous like Keith Thurman cards and stuff like that. Or Demetrius Andrade fighting in Rhode Island against somebody, not even Mad Selesky because he's injured, probably some random foreign name or something, and not getting a Triple G fight, not getting a Canelo fight, not getting a Charlo fight, not fighting Jacobs because they're friends. Answer the question. What puts someone on the star track? You know, the Captain Picard. What puts you on a star track, a path to become an American star? You know, it's like, this is easy to see. And then on top of that, DAZN is an app that not everyone has at the moment. You get what I'm saying? Versus some of these fights that Errol Spence has had is on Showtime, some Fox pay-per-view, you know, and these different guys, the Leo Santa Cruzes and different things like that. It's very clear to see. You know, same thing. You could look at all these guys, Wilder, you know, him fighting on Showtime. Him fighting on Showtime pay-per-view with Tyson Fury. That's obviously going to make him more popular, all these different things. Him doing a press tour because his, like, do you know why haven't they done a 3-city press tour for any of like Demetrius Andrade, Artur Akov? Because that would be a waste of resources. That would be a waste of resources. The money it would take to fly you to the UK and, you know, Chicago and, you know, LA and New York. It wouldn't. You would be wasting your money. You just better off letting them guys go to training camp, and that's what, because Artur Akov simply just isn't a big fight. But why did they fly Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia? You know, he lives in LA, but why did they fly Errol Spence in his camp and all these Fox fighters to this Fox unveiling in LA? Danny Garcia, I don't think he might have a home in LA. I don't know, but he don't live in LA. He don't train in LA like every time. He trained back in Philly. But the reason they did that is because it's an event, and those fights, collectively are big enough to justify that cost, right? Flying everybody out and round trips and shit like that. Artur Kov and Andre, that doesn't really do anything. Even Andre versus Selesky, does anyone think they would have did a 3-city press tour? Selesky's from Poland. You think they're going to fly Andre and Eddie Hearns and everybody out to Poland to promote the fight? To LA and New York and back? No, but they'll do it for Canelo Jacobs because that's a great fight. They'll do it for Conor McGregor and Mayweather, because that was a big fight. They went to Canada, they were in LA, they were in New York, etc. They did it for Mayweather Maidana. They were in New York, LA, Texas, maybe even Chicago. That's my point. So we know what fights are big and what fights aren't big from just different stuff like that. Are they going to do an all-access type show on Demetrius Andrade versus, Joseph Gordon-Levitt? Or do you think they're going to do like extensive programming? Do a 4-part series and all that? No. So you're trying to collect money off Americans. Takes money to make money. And you got to make the amount. You got to make the matches that are ready-made sometimes, especially if you can do it. Like this Cold War shit is almost a farce. It's almost a farce because here's why. Wilder, Joshua, okay, the Cold War. Al Heyman, you can't see eye to eye. He's with Showtime. You're with DAZN. They do pay-per-view. You don't. How's it going to happen? But then you look under the hood, and DAZN they got an in-house fight, and they not pulling the trigger on that. So you explain. How you have a ready-made in-house DAZN fight between Golovkin and Andrade that people would love to see. I feel like I'm one of boxing's representatives. I know these things because I talk to y'all, and you don't even pull the trigger on that. So, good luck with them, especially with the price hike. You got Tevin Farmer and Joseph Jojo Diaz. Diaz is saying he wants it. DAZN needs to go. Oh, wow. Tevin Farmer, he could fight Joseph Jojo Diaz. That fight didn't come up. Ryan Garcia's, he's so young, they're not going to put him in there with Tevin Farmer, even though Ryan Garcia called out Tevin Farmer, said he would love that fight. Tevin Farmer versus Miguel Berchelt. So that's what I'm saying. Like DAZN has some fights that they could be making that make more of a splash. Canelo Munguia. I know Canelo said he don't want to fight another Mexican or somebody else that represents Mexico, but shit, oh well. Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales had to fight. Why? What makes you special? Black, the Black Channel. They got to fight. If Wilder, he can't say I'm not fighting Joshua because he black. That don't give you because you have the same race or ethnic background. You're not supposed to fight. Stop it. It's one thing if you have a close, like the Klitschko brother. Like, of course, no Charlos. Nobody gonna expect brothers and twins and shit to fight, or just someone you came up with. But even that happened. Like Errol Spence fought Lamont Peterson. He said that's one of the guys. He told me. He said Lamont Peterson was one of the guys I sparred with that he taught me some things and I really look up to him. He said, ask Errol Spence if he looked up to Lamont Peterson when he was coming up. Lamont Peterson was further along in his pro career. And Errol had to fight him. Sergey Derenchenko and Daniel Jacobs, I'm sure they spent time together and were friends. They were stablemates, gym partners. You know what I'm saying? So it's just funny how that works. And then like Triple G gets special treatment or whatever. And the thing that makes it worse is if you weren't paying him that much money, then whatever. But from the sounds of it, you're willing to pay all this, break the bank to pay him to the point where you're selling off equities, paying these large salaries, these salary caps to these fighters, and then you're not going to put them in fights that help you attract people to your platform, man, that's asking for trouble. I'm just going to say it like that. That's asking for trouble, because that's like me employing somebody to clean up, like a maid service, and I'm paying them a ridiculous amount that no other maids are in that region are getting, and they don't even clean up every room. Like, man, if I'm paying you something crazy, you're going to have to make it look right. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pay for a maid service, but you won't vacuum. Hell nah, bro. Get the fuck up out of here. I'm paying like this crazy rate for a maid service, and you dirtying up dishes. You're not even washing out. You're not even cleaning up after yourself. Man, fucking no. That don't even make sense, bro. And then on top of that, you paying them something crazy. Like, that's just simple business. I don't know why you would. I don't know what the agreement was, but if you told Triple G, that's crazy. That's crazy if you just said, oh, hey, we'll guarantee you an easy touch first fight. Because you're not in, to me, DAZN's not in a position where they can keep giving everyone the first touch easy fight, because that's not helping you get traction. Joshua fought Povetkin. People weren't really checking for that. It didn't sell out in the UK. It's not an American fight, and you're trying to pitch to Americans. Even AJ versus Gerald Miller, it's not a horrible fight, but a lot of people rather see the Fury fight with Joshua, Wilder fight with Joshua, Luis Ortiz and Joshua, even Dillian White and Joshua. So that wasn't even people's first choice. Kell Brook and Amir Khan, some people want to see that. You couldn't deliver that. Now Amir Khan's doing he with top ranks photographers and ESPN camera crews and shit. So DAZN ain't getting no credit like that. How you sign Crawford? That ain't his fucking mandatory. Amir Khan ain't no fucking mandatory for Crawford. How you let Amir Khan? How you sign Amir Khan to rematch room, and then you let him go to ESPN? This shit don't even make sense, bro. Hey, bro, this shit does not even make sense. You signed Amir Khan to rematch room. I haven't even seen Eddie Hearn at like the press conference or conference calls and stuff. I don't even know what he is he even doing anything for the Crawford Khan fight? Cause I ain't seen Eddie Hearn for it. I ain't seen him promote it. I ain't seen him talking about it. So I don't know what type of relationship you have with Amir Khan with the Warriors and shit. I ain't even seen Khan with Eddie Hearn. But anyway, how you sign Amir Khan and let him get to ESPN? Like, that don't even make sense, bro. How you let Khan go to ESPN? You could have at least made Khan versus Jesse Vargas like a good, like. I'm so done, bro. This shit is funny. DAZN got some things they gotta work out. So let me get this straight. Khan, his last two fights have not been requested. They haven't been. Basically, okay. Let me break this down for you. Tell me if I'm lying. Amir Khan fought Canelo and got knocked out. HBO pay-per-view. Am I right? Then he took time off, had a shoulder and hip surgery or hand or something. He had some injuries, took about a year off, came back and fought Phil LaGreco with Eddie Hearn. Phil LaGreco has a cooking channel on YouTube. And Errol Spence and Danny Garcia had already stopped, or Errol Spence had stopped him. Right? I believe it was on DAZN. Then Amir Khan fights Samuel Vargas on DAZN. Right? So basically, Khan's last two fights they've been like, get back in the mode fights. They haven't been big fights. Now, the biggest fight that Khan is in since Canelo is not even happening on your platform. It's happening on ESPN pay-per-view. How does this make sense? So Khan gave DAZN platform to grow, and Eddie Hearn gave you Amir Khan, eesh, versus Samuel Vargas. But then, not being Terrence Crawford's mandatory or anything, Amir Khan fights Terrence Crawford on ESPN. How is that not a raw deal? How's that not a raw deal? So Khan, he gave you the 2 shitty fights, like, just tune-up style fights where he practiced with another trainer, Goosen, and then went back to Virgil. Now he back with Virgil. Now he back in shape. You know what I'm saying? And he's fighting the best opponent since Canelo and Terrence Crawford, and it's not even happening on your platform. Tell me how that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? That's like what Frank Ocean did. Frank Ocean, for those that don't know, he was signed to Sony or some shit. He had one more album, right? He had one more album that he owed to Sony. So what he did was he basically put like basically a half-ass album together, released it through Sony. He was out of his contract, that completed his contract. Behind the scenes, he had worked with Apple Music, and then a week later, after fulfilling his contract with Sony or whatever, he released an album called Blonde with Apple Music, and that was the better album. That was like the more thought out music, and that was his better album. So this was a big, just look it up. So basically he gave Sony or whatever the record label he was with before his shit album to satisfy his deal, complete his contract. Behind the scenes, he was working on a better album with more like thought and more, classics and hits and stuff called Blonde. And then a week later, he drops that on Apple Music. So his new deal with Apple Music, they got the credit for it. That's kind of what happened with Amir Khan. Amir Khan did a Frank Ocean on him. He released the album to, he put his last 2 fights, that weren't really that good. It says Frank Ocean pulls off the heist of the year with Apple exclusives. Hey, he did him greasy. Yeah, he dropped an album called Endless and Blonde within a week of each other. And Blonde was the one he put on Apple, which was better. He played him. If you guys want to read about that Frank Ocean thing, the link's in there. So you got to understand business. That's what I'm saying. So DAZN, at best they got Amir Khan. Since he's been with Eddie Hearn, they got Amir Khan versus Phil Greco, a 40-second fight, and Amir Khan versus Samuel Vargas, where Khan didn't look good, and it was experimenting with another trainer because Virgil Hunter was ill. Now Khan's back with Virgil Hunter. He looks in shape, and he's fighting his best opponent since Canelo, but he's doing it not on the DAZN app. He's doing it on ESPN pay-per-view. That sounds like a raw deal to me. Like, damn. Khan gave you the tune-up fights, and you hosted him. And now he's in his best fight since Canelo, and it's not even going to be on your platform. Wow. Wow. That don't make sense to me. He said gave him that B-side. Exactly. It's beneficial for Eddie somehow. Yeah, because his company's representing Khan, so they probably get some money some type of way. I'm not going to get into that because I don't know everybody's deal, but just from the outside looking in, that shit sounds sketch, You gave DAZN Phil LeGrand. And see the same thing. See, Eddie Hearn, hey, Eddie Hearn. Listen, Derek Chisora versus Dillian White 2, that's literally as far as a domestic level fight, that at least is better than Cash Ali, David Price. You know, Derek Chisora, Dillian White too. I'm not saying that was my prime choice because I would have rather seen Dillian White, Luis Ortiz. But the thing is, for a domestic fight, for a UK British fight, that at least was better than, you know, Liam Smith versus Sam Eggington. And guess what? DAZN didn't even get that fight. Showtime outbid him. So in the US broadcaster market, Showtime aired Chisora versus Dillian White too, and that had a knockout of the year type. So how is DAZN? How can DAZN literally? I'm really trying to analyze this. How can they be making money when they're not even? They're having little situations like that where they're not even getting the best fight. Like they're hosting the fighters' worst fights, you know, or small fights, and then the fighter will be in a big fight and it won't be on their app. Like, I don't see how you can make money like that. So you make money hosting Amir Khan versus Samuel Vargas, but then ESPN is doing a pay-per-view with Crawford Khan. You know, you'll host Dillian White versus Manuel Charr or some shit, whatever they put for Dillian White's next fight, right? You'll put something like that on your network, but then Dillian White, Derek Chisora 2, which is a better fight, Showtime had it. I don't see how you can win like that. I really don't. Then, like I said, Usyk versus Takam in Maryland. Usyk versus Takam in Maryland. Like, that location seems kind of weird. Like, you got a guy from France, I believe, and a Ukrainian fighter fighting in Maryland, just in the DMV chilling for, like, just randomly. You know, a week after Wilder on the East Coast. And this is the thing, is like, some people are saying, I'm not even really pressed about it. I don't really care about Usyk versus Takam. And then some people are accepting, like, oh yeah, it's his first fight, so, you know, I figured he would take a tune-up. But again, even if you're accepting of the fight, are you going to go out of your way to spend $100 or spend $20 a month for that particular fight? So there's a difference between, like, okay, Usyk's taking the tune-up, I understand it, I understand why he's doing it, versus, hey, this is a fight I can't miss. Block Lago Melvin Torres. He talking about Prophet stop hating black fighters. Bro, what are you talking about? Prophet didn't do that. So you just making up shit, bro. Nobody fucking with ego, new media, let's get it. I'm just telling you what it is, what I see. You know, that's it. No more, no less. I'm from a business perspective, I'm kind of curious. I'm real curious. Like I said, just this like missteps. He talking hate to, bro. He's not talking bad about black boxer. You can't generalize it like that. Even if he says something about Tevin, bro. Like, what are you talking about? You made it sound like he was hating. Bro, you gotta chill. Shooters, you can leave him alone. Just let him be. But you gotta chill with that. Prophet been leaving good comments. Anywho, it's just like, I don't understand that. I don't understand what, like, some of the directives with DAZN. And see, that's what I'm saying. You can have people. That's what happens when you have people with money that maybe don't understand the culture. You know, they don't understand the culture of boxing. Maybe they're not diehard boxing fans. He said, did they throw a dart at the U.S. map and hit Maryland? I don't know. I don't know how they arrived at. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm telling you, Al Heyman and Bob Arum, they're pretty good with that. Like, they'll put, okay, Leo Santa Cruz, he's Mexican American. He's from L.A. So, especially if he's fighting the Kiko Martinez or, you know, Mendez or somebody, like a smaller fight, they definitely gonna put that in L.A. You get what I'm saying? They're not gonna try to put him in some obscure, like, Nashville, because that probably wouldn't be, you know, that probably wouldn't be the ticket. Put Leo Santa Cruz versus Kiko Martinez in Nashville. You know, Top Rank does it too. Like, let's say Ray Beltran. He's from Mexico, but his second home is Arizona. All right. They put him in Arizona. They put him in Tucson. They put him in Phoenix, you know, or they put him in California or Texas, you know. Same thing with Gilberto Ramirez. Okay, put a exciting Mexican fighter in Texas. Makes sense to me because of the populace, because of the Latinos and the Hispanic. It's a dense Hispanic, Mexican American population in Texas. You know, you got places like, look, just listen to Texas, like San Antonio, El Paso. A lot of these are named after Spanish words. San Antonio, El Paso. You get me? So it makes sense. Usyk versus a guy from France in Takam in Maryland. I don't know. I don't, like I said, maybe they know something I don't. I really don't. I don't know. I know Lomachenko fought at that same place, so maybe there's something with it. I don't know. I just never really recall anything. They got rid of the free trial too. They don't say nothing about the free trial on their website, which I told y'all was coming. You know, they just got to work these things out. You know. And then people keep saying, oh, stop picking on DAZN. Fuck you. Don't watch my show. I'm not picking on anyone. I'm talking about what's relevant. If you don't like my videos, then don't like them. I don't care. I literally do not care who's mad. I don't care, you know, because the thing is, if you disagree, tell me what you disagree with. That's that simple. You don't have to watch my content. I'm not picking on someone. That's like a bully picks on someone. Like, they just find a little kid, hey, you know, give me your lunch money. That's picking on somebody. You just took a random kid and start fucking with him. I'm responding to the actions and the thought process and the business model behind DAZN, and I'm giving you my thoughts on it. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a reactive video. I'm not putting dirt on DAZN's name. I'm not like making up bullshit and like National Enquirer shit and saying things about DAZN that hasn't been reported or they haven't done or said. That's the difference. They book in places that give away free food. I'm done, bro. But that, to me, that seemed like more of a UK fight. Usyk just knocked out. See, I'm done, bro. It doesn't even make sense, some of the stuff that DAZN's doing. Like, I really don't even understand, who's approving, who's green lighting this stuff. Like, for example, Usyk, he been fighting in World Boxing Super Series, and he fought Tony Bellew in the UK. These guys, when was Usyk's last fight in America? When he was fighting that World Boxing Super Series, I don't think none of that was in America. So you think you're just gonna come back to America with a guy who is not like a universally known boxing name, and you just put it in Maryland, and you think that, you know, that's just, it's weird. It's weird. Okay, Usyk's last fight, Tony Bellew. He fought Manchester Arena in Manchester, England. Before that, he fought Murat Gassiev in Moscow. See, this is the thing. I knew this. I knew he was fighting these places because he's a road warrior. You know. He fought Maris Bradis in Riga, Marco Huck in Max Schmeling Hall. Right? So he fighting in Germany. And then he last fought at this same venue in 2017 against Michael Hunter. That was that Lomachenko card. He fought at the MGM National Harbor. So he hasn't fought there since 2017, so 2 years. And it was against Michael Hunter. And then now, 1, 2, 3, his last 4 fights have taken places all over the world. You know, Russia's and Germany's and Manchester. And then now you just, hey, we're bringing it back to America with with a fight that doesn't really, really a fight that has much American fanfare. See, Top Rank, when they had him in 2017, when they put him on the card, they put him on a card with Lomachenko, Vodstick, and him. So you had 3 Ukrainians that are friends all on the same card. So that became kind of something to, 3 skilled Ukrainian fighters all on the same card, all on one night. That makes more sense. But Usyk headlining a card with Takam in Maryland when he hasn't really even been fighting in America recently, I don't understand that. I'm not saying you can't fight. He can fight wherever he wants. But to me, and then out of all that, it seemed like, why not California or something? Why Maryland? I don't know. It's just weird. Just really weird. Like I said, I don't know if there's someone else on the card that's from Maryland, or if they had some other major reason, or if there's like a parade in Maryland that week. I'm not sure. But off the top of my head, it just seems like a random location. Like when Gerald Miller fought in the barnyard in Kansas. Like, I can understand Joshua Miller happening in New York. Joshua's American debut take place where Miller's from, in New York. Okay. So, yeah, they're going to have to figure this stuff out. But, like, I did a video about it. Check it out. It's a longer video. It's on the channel now with Triple G. Like, I just don't understand how it's beneficial if they don't put Triple G in there with somebody that's compelling, like Demetrius Andrade, who now needs a dance partner. And here's another thing with Usyk fighting in Maryland, right? Oh my gosh. I'm killing the game. It's funny too. Cause people can't even dispute what I'm saying. They just know how real I am. They know it. They know how real it is. So here's the other thing. Tell me if I'm lying. Okay. It'd be one thing if you were bringing boxing to an area like, hold on, I'm dropping too much gems. Do y'all want this last gem? If y'all want this last gem, can I get a hell yeah in the comment section and smash the like button? I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of y'all not hitting the like button when I had to keep asking y'all. If y'all want me to drop this last gem, can I get a hell yeah in the comment section? Let's get it. See, shout out to Prophet. Okay. Shout out to Daryl. I didn't know he was in here, but shout out to him. Here's my thing. Let's say you're going to put boxing in an area that doesn't always get boxing. Okay, maybe people come out because there's an opportunity to see boxing, and they rarely, like when Pacquiao fought Jeff Hearn in Australia. Australia doesn't get big, universally known fights like that often. You know what I'm saying? Like Pacquiao, someone the caliber of Pacquiao. So I can understand Top Rank putting that in Australia because, hey, this is your only chance to maybe see Pacquiao before he hangs him up, you know? Because who is there that's out there relevant for Pacquiao to really fight unless he fought Jeff Horn again, which doesn't necessarily make sense now because he lost to Crawford, that Pacquiao would go back to Australia. So that's kind of like a once in a lifetime, or, hey, we never get boxing. Like Bay Area, we don't really get boxing out here. So if there's an event, yeah, people can go because we don't always get it. So here's the thing. I can understand maybe that being a thought process. Like, okay, Maryland doesn't always get boxing, so let me bring it back. But guess what? You have a fighter in Jared Hearn, right, who's fighting his mandatory, Julian J. Rock Williams, in Fairfax, Virginia in May. So he's from that area. He's from the DMV area, and he's fighting Julian J. Rock Williams in Virginia, which is, if you know geography, it's travel distance. It's a reasonable travel distance from Maryland, Maryland and Virginia, right? So it's not like, so just a month before Usyk and Takam, you can go see Julian J. Rock Williams and a fighter who's from that area. So they're getting boxing over that way. Here's the second thing. Here's the kicker. Tank is from Baltimore. Again, in that concentrated area. Baltimore, Maryland, right? My sources tell me that Tank is having a hometown fight in July. And then this Usyk thing is in May or whatever. So you have two guys like Jared Hearn and Tank, and between May and July, they're bringing fights out that way, between Virginia and Maryland. So they're going to have their opportunity to, like Maryland fans of boxing, people in that area, in the DMV, they're going to have the opportunity to see good boxing, because Jared Hearn versus J-Rock is a good fight, and that's happening in Virginia. You get what I'm saying? So, so let me get this straight. J-Rock is fighting a guy from the DMV, a guy who's from Maryland, and he's fighting him like May 11th. Then you have Wilder fighting. They backed off the date because Wilder's fighting on the East Coast. And then a week after that, in Maryland, you have Takam versus Usyk. You know what I'm saying? And then shortly after that, Tank, who's also from that area, is supposed to be getting a Baltimore fight, or somewhere in that concentrated area. So it's a little bit weird. Hey, Melvin Torres, you're annoying, bro. All your comments are annoying. You're leaving 15 comments for everybody else's comment, bro. Nobody wants to just hear just you. And nobody's sleeping on Takam. He's been knocked out multiple times. It's a step up fight to a new weight class. That's it, If he does good, he does good, bro. You own the chat or something, bro. Stop leaving 1,000 comments. They came to see me in the Vampire stream and Ego's Army, not you exclusively. Please stop. You keep arguing with Prophet. Prophet pays. He pays to be here. He's a channel member. You don't. I'm always going to side with my channel members. Unless they doing something crazy, R. Kelly shit or something. Stop it. Anyway, you guys trying to take away from what's being talked about. It's very distracting. The bottom line is, so PBC, they got Julian J. Rock Williams and a guy who's from Maryland, Jared Hearn, fighting. That's his mandatory, by the way. J. Rock, May 11th, he's fighting in Maryland. So even, see, this is what I'm saying. Okay, just block Melvin. Get him out of here. You ain't Melvin from Baby Boy. Dark Truth, just get rid of him. Now he's sad and shit. Okay, I will. Bye. Bro, you didn't even have to say bye. You could have just left. We ain't on the phone together. What the fuck? He's like, bye-bye. Just get him the fuck out of here. I'm sick of seeing his name in my shit. Motherfucker said bye like we on the phone together. You could have just X'd out the chat and left us the fuck alone. The fuck out of here, bro. Motherfucker saying, how you gonna say bye and shit? I knew he was a troll because he kept talking. Like, trolls always want to be heard and seen and shit. We don't give a fuck what you talking about. And then he talking about shit that don't even, like, that's how I know. I'm bringing up points that are valid that pertain to the video that you guys clicked on. And he's talking about, oh yeah, Velma from Scooby-Doo, she wasn't that bad. Like Zoink Scoob. Like, we don't give a fuck about Scooby-Doo. What the fuck is Scooby-Doo got to do with what we talk? Get him the fuck out of there, bro. I don't have time for it. Y'all understand this is what I do for a living? Like, I'm on some vampire stream hours. It's 3:15 for me. Y'all ain't finna just be wasting my time talking about some bullshit. I'm trying to talk about boxing. And oh yeah, man. Al Gore, like, the fact that you brought up Al Gore, we gonna show you some gore. When we rip your intestines out and ban you from the chat, bro. We got your gore. The fact that you even brought up Al Gore in the boxing chat, you just here for no reason, bro. You know, I'm sick of it. Them motherfuckers talking about Al Gore and shit, bro. I don't care about none of that. Ross Perot and Al Gore, they should have. What? What we talking about, bro? How do you know Martha Stewart did the crime? You know, anybody can accuse Martha Stewart. Martha, leave me alone, man. Shout out to Daryl. Anyway, let me finish up. You see, I'm getting cranky from Melvin. You can't tell how old someone is with a name like Melvin. Are you 13 or you 39, motherfucker? Like, Melvin, I can't even tell what age you are right now. Like, what the Melvin, you sound like a young and old nigga at the same time. What the fuck? You motherfucker, I'm Melvin. Like, what? You all the ages. You 1 through 100 with that name. I can't tell if that's an old name or, like, you know, I can't tell your age group. I don't know what, you know. You might have a vape pen or you might be doing crossword puzzles. I don't know. You either young or old. I can't tell with that name. You could be buying diapers or you might be wearing diapers. You might be wearing Depends. That's all I'm saying. I can't tell with that old ass young name. You buying diapers or you I said you either buying diapers or you might be wearing diapers. I can't tell. I can't tell if you young or old. You know, you might have just had a baby. You might be the baby and shit. You know, drinking the prune juice. I can't tell. The fuck is a Melvin? Man, get Mel's Diner the fuck up out of here. I'm sick of this shit. Y'all gotta be hot, bro. Y'all gotta be hot, bro. Nah, I ain't chilling. Y'all got me hot, bro. This whole Nipsey, this whole week is fucked up. I ain't been sleeping good. You know, my state going through it. Like, I'm hot, bro. I don't got time for it. That's why you see new media. We just demolishing everything in the back. Lay on them train tracks if you want. You know, I feel like my synergy is off with you know, Nipsey Hussle with that situation. Very unfortunate. Rest in peace. But the marathon will continue. My whole energy is off. My synergy, I don't have time for it. I swear. All this troll shit. The other thing is, I know I'm destroying the trolls. I know old media, they're struggling to breathe. You need them oxygen tubes and shit. Prophet, I seen that. He said he just kept going. I tried to let him go. That's how I knew he was like trolling and he's here for something else, because he wouldn't it's like he was argumentative. Like, he just wanted to keep arguing no matter what. Like, that's what he woke. These motherfuckers just wake up wanting to argue. Nah, I didn't say that. I didn't say, like, who the fuck just wakes up and argues? Like, how you just combative off rip? You just, Nah, why would he do that? You know, Pacquiao, he didn't do that. Like, how you just wake up and you arguing and shit, bro? Go the fuck to bed. Y'all got me hot, man. This Nipsey shit messed up my synergy. Now we mashing. The marathon will continue. No, it's cool. It's like, you know, the gangs met up in L.A., you know, and they were holding a truce. So, you know, people are coming together. It's still a loss, though. It's still a huge loss for Cali. You know, a young black brother died for no reason. So, you know, certain people are energies in this world, you know, positive energies, good energies. So if something like that happens, the forces are disrupted. You know, Nipsey Hussle was, you know, everyone's seen the potential, or seen where his head was at, seen that he was business minded, seen that he was employing people and giving back to his community. So when you take that away, you're killing off an energy. You get what I'm saying? And then people take things for granted until something's gone. Like, you treat your girl like shit or something until she leave your dumb ass. You know? Until she leave you. And then now you're, oh shit, she wasn't there, but she used to pack my lunch. She used to do that. Yeah, now you miss it. So, yeah, some people in this world are energies. So if that's removed, you know, it disrupts something, ripple in the pond. That's kind of what happened. But anyway, rest in peace to Nip, neighborhood Nip. Shout out to Crenshaw Slauson. Let's get it. But my thing is, I'm curious. I'm curious the strategies that DAZN is employing. I really am curious. Like I said, Julian J. Rock Williams is the mandatory for Jarrett Hurd, who's from that area, May 11th. Here's the other thing. Right? Here's the other thing. You have to put it in the mindset of the media who's going to help cover these things. The bigger the fight, the more the media gets involved. We know this. So if PBC, just hear me out. I'm a California kid. You know, I rep Cali. I was born in New Mexico, lived in England. Now I rep this, right? So Cali's where I've been the longest. Cali's my home, right? Here's the thing. From a media perspective, I live in California. So if Jarrett Hurd is fighting at the top of May, you know, top of the month, against a mandatory in a better fight, you know, that could be a competitive fight, you know, on a PBC card where they have they have a bigger roster. So they've historically have shown better undercards to me. And then the next week or whatnot, Deontay Wilder's fighting on the East Coast against his mandatory, Dominic Breazeale, in New York at the Barclays Center. And then after that, Takam and Usyk. I mean, it's no mystery what fight I would try to cover. I don't know if I'm going to swing 3 back-to-back trips like that. Do you get what I'm saying? But if there weren't 3 back-to-back fights on the East Coast, then I might try to cover Usyk, Takam. But seeing how that's the last one, because they pushed the date back to, you know, bow off the Wilder date, that's a lot of trips. So, you know, from a media perspective, unless they're already on the East Coast, but even if they're on the East Coast, like let's say it's a New York, you're a New York boxing channel. So you're going to have to go to Virginia to cover Jarrett Hurd and Julian J. Rock Williams. Then you go to New York for Wilder fight. And then after, you're going to have to go back to Maryland if you wanted to cover everything. But if you didn't want to cover everything, then wouldn't you cover the biggest events? Do you get what I'm saying? And like I said, Usyk to me is not the biggest fight out of those. Usyk versus Takam. That's just my honest opinion. So definitely not making it convenient for boxing media to have to cover this shit. You know. We'll see how it plays out. It is what it is. I just don't like the location seems weird. It's like they just looked at what Top Rank did and then just decided to put Usyk back there. But again, that was a Top Rank had a better game plan. They were on HBO, which is an established network, and they put 3 Ukrainian stars or 3 Ukrainian the best current 3 Ukrainian fighters with the biggest name on the same card. I remember that card. You know, it was Usyk, Michael Hunter. It was Vodstick versus somebody like Usyk Gonzalez or somebody, and then it was I think Lomachenko versus Sosa, something like that. So that made sense. But having Usyk main event versus Takam, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the crowd, how they react to that fight. But they need big matches, and I feel like they have what it takes. Like Dillian White versus Usyk. Dillian White can't get no title shot. He said he will fight Usyk. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. That's what I'm saying. Like, I get it, but you have to take risks. You have to take risks, especially as when you're coming up. Let's vote. Who would you rather see? Usyk versus Luis Ortiz, Povetkin, Dillian White, or
This the real deal. This the real deal. This the real deal. Easy work.
actually that's too confusing. Would you rather see Usyk versus Takam, or would you prefer Ortiz, Dillian White, or Povetkin? Does Takam sound better than any of those other fights? Randy Ridley, $2 super chat. Snitch dudes changed 2 coasts in 1 year. I don't know what you're talking about. Snitch dudes changed 2 coasts in 1 year. I don't even know what that is right now. Prophet said Ortiz. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's clearly. Okay, what about Povetkin or Takam? What about Dillian White or Takam? Would you prefer Takam over Dillian White and Usyk, or Takam over Povetkin and Usyk? To me, like I said, Takam is whatever. It's whatever fight. You're moving up type of shit. Oh, I get what he's saying. I got you. Shout out to Randy Ridley. Box fan, appreciate you. I see what you're saying now. That's what I'm saying. Dillian White versus. I'd rather see. Bottom line is this: I'd rather see Usyk versus Luis Ortiz, 1. Usyk versus Dillian White, 2. Usyk versus Povetkin, 3. Usyk versus Takam would be literally my 4th. That's my serious order. Now y'all put it in order. Out of Usyk, Povetkin, Takam, and Dillian White, rank the fights in order. That you would like to see. You know, that you think would see, and that's what I'm saying. Like DAZN, just the fact that they're new, you gotta come up with some slamming matches. That's just the reality of it. Prophet said facts. That's the correct order. That's what I'm saying. Usyk, those are, to me, that would be the best, most compelling order. And see, this is the thing. I'm gonna give you guys the abridged version. This is the thing. I feel like DAZN has a couple of matches like that where if you looked at the short list of 4 people, the main event that they decide on is probably the person who's at the back end of the bus, you know, on the short list. Like you look at AJ, I would have rather see him fight Wilder 1, Tyson Fury 2. No, actually Wilder 1, Luis Ortiz 2, Tyson Fury 3, and then the 4th fight that I would want to see would be Gerald Miller. Actually, I would Dillian White. And then the 5th fight behind that would be Gerald Miller. That's my serious order that I would like to see. So AJ's fighting the guy that I would like to see 5th, me personally, as a paying customer. You know, same thing with Demetrius Andre Golovkin. If I looked at the available competition, I would like to see Triple G versus Andrade 1, you know, because obviously I'm not counting Canelo or Jacobs because they're actually fighting. So realistic available people. Triple G versus Andrade, Triple G versus Matt Korobov, Triple G versus Derevchenko, something like that. Or 2 and 3 are interchangeable. I don't really care if it's Korobov or Derevchenko. Then it would be Triple G versus Brandon Adams, and then last would be Triple G versus Hassan Ndam. If those are the talent pools that I'm drawing from, I would even put Selesky. I'd rather see Triple G Selecki before Takam. So before Hassan Ndam. And guess who Triple G's rumored to fight? Ndam. That's what, to survive in America and to make it and, attract the fans, I think they have to do more of the matches where the guy is fighting the number 1 or 2, maybe even the 3 person that they want to see, not the 5 and 6 persons on the list that they want to see. Does that make sense? Shout out to David Turner. Salute, $10 super chat. I really want to see more Ortiz before it gets too, I think fighters are scared of him pretty much. Yeah. Trying to age him out and wait for vulnerabilities. Whatever. But yeah, man, I want to see good fights. That's just the reality of it. People want to see good fights. Like, I'm reasonable. I didn't complain about Canelo fielding too much. I said, he just fought the Triple G 2 fights. Cool. He fighting fielding. I didn't really make no big fuss. But he's fighting Jacobs now, so I really have no complaints. So I'm willing to sit through a fielding fight to get that. But like I said, DAZN, it seems like their formula, all these guys' first fights are like tune-up style fights. Usyk Takam, this Klitschko versus Kubrat Pulev or some shit that he already beat. Gerald Miller, Dog Bandinu. Like, when we get to Gerald, like, I don't know, man. There's the thing that's so frustrating is they have enough of fighters and enough of working relationships, not even considering like Top Rank and PBC, where they can make some of these matches. Like Dillian White versus Gerald Miller, I would have a million times more rather see them fight, and then the winner gets AJ. Then I know at least they worked for it. They both were about the same, in the same bracket. Shout out to David Turner, $1 super chat. That proves who is taking the risk. Risk in boxing, we got to get back to the point where risk equals reward in everybody's mind. Because that's what boxing is about. You take certain risks, you come out on top, you see, come out on the other end. Now you've rewarded yourself and you rewarded the fans. Now we want to see you do well. It's that simple. Wilder gained more respect fighting Luis Ortiz, vice versa, than if he would have fought just some random just some random person. People get that's what, if you look at it, Wilder's profile after the Luis Ortiz fight, the Stavern 2 to the Luis Ortiz fight, that's where it really started to pick up for him, because people seen Wilder tested and they're like, all right, okay, this man show a heart. Luis Ortiz was coming for him, dangerous southpaw, and he held his own and found a way to not get knocked down, weather the storm in the 7th round, battle being hurt in adversity, and still come out on top with the knockout. Okay, dope. Floyd's first fight was Guerrero on pay-per-view, and that was his mandatory. So, yeah, I hope you're not trying to prove new media wrong, because that's horrible. Floyd fought his mandatory coming out of jail after fighting Cotto. That was his first fight with Showtime. So, yeah, I know my shit, so y'all not gonna catch me slipping when it comes to, current boxing. If you try to go like to some 1920s shit, yeah, fucking Kennedy Reese and Sugar John Hemsley, I might not know some shit like that. So, yeah, we got to get to the point where risk turns into the reward. Like, basically, you get rewarded for taking the risk. Daniel Jacobs, he's a perfect example of this. Shout out to Brownsville, never ran, never will. We seen Jacobs lose to Dimitri Perot. It could have been over for him after that, but he chose not to. We showed that he beat cancer. Then he beat Peter Quillen. Then he beat Sergio Mora. Mora complained. He beat him again and called out Golovkin. Then he fought Golovkin. People said he was going to get knocked out. He held his own. He fought the undefeated Golovkin. I thought he beat Golovkin, right? Then they didn't give it to him. He lost his WBA regular title, and then he proceeded to fight. After fighting an undefeated fighter, won. He fought 2, 3, 4. He fought 3 more, 4 undefeated fights in a row. 3 people after Golovkin that were also undefeated. Now he's getting Canelo. You see, you take the risk. It usually works out on the other end. Now he's in a big fight. So he had to go through that. They're not doing that with Triple G. Triple G wants to hide out, and peek his head out when it's a big fight at age 37. And DAZN's allowing it, Instead of putting Triple G in there with an able-bodied person that would make people respect his win in the win column, they would rather put Triple G in there with fucking Tom Hanks in Philadelphia. They'd rather put him in there with Tom Hanks in Philadelphia than to put him in there with competition that the fans would actually crave or buy. It's crazy. If Triple G got past an Olympian and Andrew, he gets respect. Same way, if Mikey Garcia, all that shit y'all was talking about, oh, Mikey sees something and it's coming. You're gonna see. We all see what Mikey see and all that. If he would have did it, then I would have been like, I told y'all. But fortunately for new media, I keep saying the same things. I told you if Mikey would have beat Spence, I would say he's pound for pound number 1. But he didn't beat Spence. So I'm not saying he's pound for pound number 1. Still a good fighter. But I told you I would give it up to him. I would give it up. I would say, yo, this dude, phenomenal. He just knocked out Spence. He just did it. If he would have did it, I would have told you that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when do you see new media have to constantly eat our words where we just got it so wrong? You don't see it as much because I'm not out here saying like reckless things. Like the critiques that I have for DAZN, they're serious critiques. And how come nobody's making me eat my words? Like how come DAZN is not, if I'm saying Eddie Hearn, he ain't gonna make Dillian White versus Luis Ortiz, and then it's not made. I'm like, yeah, I don't see Triple G fighting Andrade, but I hope I'm wrong. I don't see him fighting him next. And then he don't fight him next. You get what I'm saying? So it should be easy. If I don't know what I'm talking about, then it should be easy to call my bluff and make me eat my words. And I'll be happy to eat my words. Make Triple G versus Andrade, I'm happy to eat my words. You know why? Because I think that's the right move for boxing. Now, if you want to make Canelo or Jacobs versus the winner of Triple G Andrade, that's for everything. What's the point of bragging about we have all the best middleweights with belts and all this if you're not going to make them fight each other? Canelo is not even 30 years old, man. And he's fighting better competition than Golovkin. There's no way to sugarcoat it at this point. There is no way. Canelo is under 30 with red hair, and he's fighting better competition than Golovkin at a younger age without a silver medal, without going to the Olympics. What is wrong with this picture? And what's sad is I'm starting to think Canelo will fight Andre before Triple G will. That's crazy. Canelo just said he wants to unify the division. Do you guys understand if he beats Jacobs and then he goes on to fight Andre this year, do you understand how horrible that's going to make Triple G look? They better hope that never happens. Because bro, Canelo is already on his way to all-time greatness, you know, in terms of Hall of Famer. If he gets past Jacobs, preferably with no controversy, you know, no gift decision conversations or anything, and then he fights Andrade, win, lose, or draw, that motherfucker raw. He raw. I don't care what nobody y'all can say, cinnamon and Cinnabons and all this bullshit, you know, red hots and all this stupid shit. Canelo raw. If he does that, he's raw. That's some real legacy shit. And it's going to make Golovkin look horrible. It's going to look horrible. And it's going to make HBO look horrible. I'm good they got out of the boxing business. You didn't know what the fuck you was doing towards the end. I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy. Happy they got out of business. Because you're not treating the sport right. You know? ESPN, they did the same thing. Like, I told you, man, new media, we coming. He started his pro career in Mexico at age 15. But that doesn't... So, Golovkin started and went to the Olympics. If you go to the Olympics off top, you should be more ready than somebody who just learned on the job or started late like Sergio Martinez. You went to the fucking Olympics, man. And you medaled with the silver medal. You should be ready for the world. I'm telling you, just like that Beyonce clip I played. I'm not going to go over and play it again. Long story short, this guy, a PR person or whatever, was talking about how Beyonce, Jordan, Reebok, Under Armour, they all wanted to pick up and do a product line with Beyonce. They wanted her as the creative director. So they're going to use her name, brand, her fame, her clout, her celebrity in conjunction with Nike or whatever, Reebok, Jordan. She met up with Reebok. This was the guy, it was a white guy saying it. She met up with Reebok. They had a meeting and they had vision boards and all this stuff talking about what they could do for her and kind of visions that they had and when they were going to launch and, you know, the spring line and what they wanted and what they could do for her, color schemes and colorway, all that type of stuff, right? So they illustrated PowerPoints, all these things. Beyonce, you know, legend has it, she looked around and seen that nobody kind of looked like, sounded like the people who were doing the presentations. None of the people were related. And she was like, she asked, is this the team I would be working with, you know, to develop my product line, these clothes and shoes and stuff? And the guy responds, yeah. And she was like, well, I noticed there's not really much diversity. You don't have any people of color. You don't have any people with similar, like, cultural backgrounds, or there's really no diversity in this room. So, you know, how are my visions going to come to life if we don't, you know, we don't have much in common? No, me and nobody in this whole panel, right? Long story short, she didn't go with Reebok. It just got announced yesterday that she did a lucrative deal with Adidas. So obviously Adidas as a company, maybe they have more diversity in the boardroom. And she liked that, and she liked their game plan and what they have. So now she fucking with Adidas, right? So the point I'm making is there's a lot of people in corporate America, for whatever reason, right? We'll just say that, for whatever reason. And what they do is they can have money. You can have all the money in the world. But if you're controlling your money a certain way and you're appointing certain people that don't understand the business, that don't understand the market, don't understand the culture, then good luck with that. You know, when it comes to boxing, you can have money, all the money in the world. You still got to make the matchup. You still have to provide for the fans. DAZN, I don't know, maybe they need a cultural awareness, you know, or boxing awareness or something, so they can really tap into the minds of what the fans want. You know, there's no reason for a channel like mine with no billionaire backing, no millionaire backing me. Nobody gave me shit to be successful on this platform where I could talk for an hour, 2, 3, and get more respect from my peers, from fans, than people. You see, what these companies do, they think they could just put whoever they want in a studio show to talk boxing and wear a bow tie and shit, and all of a sudden boxing fans relate to you. That's not how it works. Boxing is different. It's definitely different. It's a completely different sport. Like somebody one time they told me, "Oh, why are you wearing a hat? You should be wearing a suit." Fuck you. I ain't wearing shit. Buy me a suit. And I ain't gonna wear it. I'm gonna burn it like Angela Bassett and waiting to excel. You don't tell me what to wear. Is it like I gotta wear? Why would I wear a suit to talk boxing? I'm like, so you don't care what I'm talking about. You don't care the content. You don't care the quality, the audio quality. You don't care about the entertainment value. You care about me wearing a suit. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, I don't believe you because you're talking about Mike Tyson and you don't have a bow tie on. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. That's stupid. Stereotypes and shit. Wear a suit. What's that gonna do? What's me wearing a suit gonna do? I dress up for the right, if I'm going to ESPYs or some shit. But what am I gonna just wear a suit to be rapping, talking boxing and kicking it with y'all? What I gotta wear a suit for? Like I'm going to prom with y'all. I ain't wearing shit. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. People, I see it at the fights too. You see people are dressed up. I'm not, listen, you dress how you want. If you want to wear a suit to the fights, that's cool. I wore sweats to fights. What the fuck? I'm there to do a job. Y'all ain't see, I'm not on camera like, pop locking and shit. Why do y'all care what I'm wearing? As long as these fighters respect me, as long as people give me respect and give my personal space, I don't care. I'm there to do a job. I don't care what I'm wearing. I go to fights with no haircut sometimes. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm there to do a job. I'm a professional. I'm there to work. I'm there to grind. I'm there to network. I'm not like I'm going to go with a suit and a bow tie and shit and get a flat top because y'all want me to. That's what y'all want. Y'all want me to have a flat top and shit. Yeah, get a cool cut, like Kid and Play, Christopher Reed, Christopher Martin. Get a cool cut. Why don't you have a house party, man? Like house party? What are you even talking about? I don't know. The Black Channel. Like these motherfuckers, bro. I'm gonna wear what the fuck I want. I might fuck around and go to a fight looking like Blade and shit. Shave my shit like this on the sides, have a trench coat and these glasses, talking about Frost. Like, tell me what to wear. But see, that's what I'm saying. That's where people, I'm giving y'all gems. Like people, that's where they miss it in boxing. They think wearing a suit is now people are gonna respect you. Like people are gonna be like, oh yeah, I gotta watch this channel. He has a bow tie, and a zoot suit. Like, people don't care if I have a zoot suit. This ain't blood in, blood out. What the fuck? I'm just supposed to wear collar shirts and shit. I ain't, what? Hey, Miklo, no. Like, I wear what I want. Someone said dress like Men in Black. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, these people crazy. Yeah, Lil Nas X and shit, Billy Ray Cyrus. I'm not. You wear that. You dress like Billy Ray Cyrus. If that's what you want to do, you dress like Lil X and Nas and or whatever the dude's name is. I do me, you do you. But that's what I'm saying. You got people that got buku bucks and money and stuff. They don't even really know what's going on in the sport. They don't. People still ain't relating to them. That's what I'm saying. You can't buy stuff. Like, shout out to you and Beyonce and hold it down for the culture, bro. Shout out to David Turner, another $10 super chat. I'm definitely doing it for the culture, man. Because boxing is before new media, there weren't that many outlets where you could talk boxing and have your opinions shared. And certain fighters they always got the short end of the stick no matter what. We reversing that. like Uno. We reversing that on them. Like, because we know it's some bullshit. You can like whoever fighter you want. You can say whatever you want, but you will be held accountable for it. It's that simple. Larry Merchant wears a suit nearly everywhere, and I hate him. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not, people don't understand. It's not about what you're wearing. It's about the content more than that. You know, there's people that dress up and wear, like, look like valet parkers and all this shit when I go to the fights. Nobody even knows who you are. So you did all that and still nobody know you. I'll be in regular ass, you know, clothes, dressed like Eminem and shit. 8 Mile. Get more love than you. That's what it is. Yeah, a suit don't make you know boxing. Block Sim Nome. Yeah, whatever. Sim Nome Pra. Block that motherfucker. Whoever, whatever they talking about. Famusi. Yeah, we about to Famusi you. Sim Nome. That shit sound like that. The Chucky spell. Remember? Hey, Andy. Ake Dewey Dembala. Yakuze. Seme Nome Pra. Profil. Quarimore. Like, this shit sound like a chant, bro. Get that Illuminati shit out of here. Whatever the fuck that was. Y'all got me hot, man. This Nipsey Hussle thing got me hot. And then y'all coming in here with this spam. Let me get out of here. Ake Dewey Dambala Yakuz. Who is Sim Nome Pra Pare Phil? Who is that? Coming here speaking Swahili or whatever the fuck that was. What? Man, y'all got me hot. I'm about to get out of here. Usyk. Stop acting like a bitch, bro. Come stop me. I'm in Northern California. Stop me from acting like whatever. YD shot you. All right, for sure. Stop acting like a bitch, bro. Y'all on some internet shit, bro. David Turner, $2 super chat. The Black Channel. LOL one more time. Yeah, rest in peace to Nip. I don't know. Shooter, y'all gonna let this YD dude? YD shot you. All right, shooters, we gonna see who got the real shots off.
This the real deal. This the real deal. Easy work.
Y'all just gonna let him in here talking crazy. Shooters, y'all don't care. Y'all just gonna let him insult me. Bow. Okay, passive student. That's what I'm talking about. Took you long enough, but that's what I'm talking about. Now that's how you supposed to shoot. So said he off that lean. Let me get out of here because they just keep coming back, bro. I ain't got the tolerance for it right now. So we'll see. We'll see how everything plays out. But, you know, Usyk in Maryland, that seems like a weird location. DAZN, I just want to see the fights, like what they got going on, what they plan to do. Holla at the boy, man.